Jubilant Foodworks, ticker symbol JUBI. And Jubilant Foodworks is a stock that trades on the Indian National Stock Exchange. And this is a good example to show you because this is an example of a stock that's entering into a new uptrend. Now, let's do some analysis on this chart, and I'll show you what we see. Most notable is that it recently has broken out above, the stock recently has broken out above horizontal price consolidation. If you look at this line here, you see this level back here in November and December and January. This is the date down here, so you can see the date. This is what's called resistance level. The stock for several months was unable to move higher than this level. Notice how it went up, came back down, went up, came down, went up, came down. And finally, this day right here, which was on April 20th, finally the stock was able to break out. You see this big green candlestick bar where the stock finally went above and held above that level. Now notice what's happened. Since it got above that level, now notice how the stock has now entered into an uptrend. It's been trending higher now ever since April. But notice how before that happened, the stock could merely only go sideways in a sideways range. Okay, we can draw, for example, we can draw this lower channel. Now you can see the range. The stock just oscillated between up and down between this level until it broke out above this resistance, and that's what entered the stock into a new uptrend. So what we look for is breakouts above resistance after a stock has been consolidating in a sideways range for a long time, because that generally is what's necessary in order to send the stock into a new uptrend. And that's what we see here is the stock has entered into a new uptrend. Now there's a couple other interesting things to look at here. First of all, this beige line is the 20-day exponential moving average. And this is a good indicator of trend for the short term. Notice how each time the stock pulls back, it goes higher and pulls back. It comes and it holds support near this 20-day moving average. Maybe goes a little bit below it, but it goes up, comes back down, and notice here again, this 20-day moving average. So what happens is this 20-day moving average provides what's called support to enable the new uptrend to push the stock higher. And then this 50-day moving average is a more significant level of support, which will usually catch the stock that pulls back below its 20-day moving average. Now what we have here is another leg up over the past 2 days. Notice how the stock over the past 2 days has actually moved higher. Okay, it's broken out above this short-term downtrend. This is actually a short-term downtrend. It's actually called a bull flag pattern. This is called a bull flag. That's formed when a stock goes up and then drifts slightly lower. The 20-day moving average often catches up to it and pushes it higher. Technically, a bull flag is going to be a shorter time period than this, but it resembles similar to a bull flag. And then notice how in only 2 days, the stock moves higher than it's been able to move over the past 3 weeks. That's why we always look at these trend lines. We look to buy when stocks move above the obvious level of resistance, which in this case was above this downtrend line that you see right here. So 2 days ago was the buy entry. Now what's likely to happen is this stock is probably going to go sideways again, maybe go up another day or two and then move sideways for a couple weeks, let the 20-day moving average catch up to it, and then go up again. And what's happening then, as you can see, is the stock is forming what's called higher highs and higher lows. Here we have a higher high, a higher high, a higher high, and we have a higher low, and there'll be another higher low. That's the definition of an uptrend, when a stock is setting higher highs and higher lows. And notice how the trends, once they're in place, it's simply a matter of timing our entry based upon the trends. Basically selling into strength when they move up and buying back into the stock then when it consolidates and breaks out. So this is a good example of the type of stocks that we look for with our stock scanning platform and what we teach our students that take our stock trading success course. And talk more about that in a moment. Again, we're not brokers, so this is not a recommendation to actually buy or sell this stock. But what we do is we empower you, we teach you how to actually read charts to make your own intelligent decisions for the stocks that are most likely to be profitable for you. Let's look at one more stock in the Indian market. This is ticker symbol BATA, and that's BATA India Limited. trades on the Indian National Stock Exchange. This is another example of a stock that has entered into an uptrend. And notice again here, after the stock broke out above this consolidation back in February, we had a lengthy consolidation. After the stock broke out above that, that's what set it in motion, the new uptrend. And here again, notice the similarity as the last chart. This 20-day moving average is provided the support needed to push the stock higher. Okay, it moved up and it went sideways until this 20-day moving average came up and caught the price. That pushed it higher. Stock traded sideways several weeks again. Here we had what's called an undercut, which means the price on an intraday basis went below the 20-day moving average, but the 50-day moving average caught it, acted as support, went back above it. Then it went higher, came back, undercut again this 20-day moving average, but notice how it held to 50, and right back up 3 days later. And now the stock has broken out to a new 52-week high. Notice also in this case how the volume is higher. We like to see volume. This is a bar. It's called the volume. That's the number of shares that the stock trades on that particular day. We like to see this be higher than average. Notice how this bar is higher than most of the other bars, especially back here. And that confirms that institutions such as mutual funds and hedge funds are actually supporting the price of the stock, helping it to move higher. So this isn't something we'd want to buy right now necessarily because it's a little bit too late. But what we look for now is some price consolidation for the stock to move sideways, and again wait for that 20-day moving average to catch up and provide some support. So that's another good example of a stock in an uptrend and how the 20 and the 50-day moving averages provide support.